Hi, I'm John from road.cc.
And I'm Dave from road.cc.
And today we're here to talk to you about gravel bikes and whether you should have one as your next bike. The people at Saddleback have sorted this out with a pair of 3T Exploros.
Very nice.
And the Exploro is a pretty interesting bike to use for this because it's one of the very few aero gravel bikes.
Right, yeah.
So in theory it should be as at home on a bit of road riding as it is out on the gravel. The other interesting thing about the bike is it's very versatile in the way that you can set it up, in terms of you can run 650B wheels, you can run 700C wheels, it's got a big fat clearance for either, you can run it as a single or a double, you can spec it with big wide bars or sort of like narrow road bars. So your world is your oyster pretty much when it comes to how you want to roll on it.
Yeah, I think the tyre choice are really interesting as well, because the two bikes we've got have different tyres on. I think the tyres could dictate how they perform in different situations, on road and off road, and that's what we'll hopefully find out.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that you might have thought that I'd go for the 650B wheel with a big fat knobbly tyre, right? But in fact we've done the opposite. I've gone for a 700C wheel on some Envy rims with a fairly knobbly but still moderately high volume 42mm Maxxis Ravager. Whereas you have got?
I've got a very slick tyre, which I'm used to from road riding, but it's a wide 47mm high volume tyre, so although it's slick, the volume should give plenty of cushioning on rough tracks and so on. So it'll be an interesting setup to see how it performs when we get into the off-road bits.
Yeah, so onto that, our route was around the Forest of Dean. We did it in some of the lovely weather that we've had recently. It was just like a mini summer.
It was, yeah.
And it took in a bit of road cycling, as you'd expect, like some nice quiet roads around there. Then we did a bit of classic sort of gravel. Then we did some bridleway bashing, and then we took it off some sweet jumps.
You did, I didn't. Very much wheels on the ground, but it's sort of riding that hopefully most of you have on your doorstep or nearby.
Yeah, it's everything from sort of like fairly easy cross-country mountain biking all the way to like pure road cycling, which is where we think these bikes should really sit. Caid Yegi Doisi Coid.
Which means?
Shut your mouth and get in the woods. Right, so we had a fun ride, that much guaranteed really, but what did we find out?
Well, I think gravel bikes are a lot of fun. That's my main takeaway really. I had a lot of fun riding off-road trails and linking them up with roads, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's the thing, they kind of like did everything really.
Yeah.
There's no way, I mean like on the pure mountain bike stuff, we rode a bit of the trail centre. Yeah, obviously it's suboptimal there.
Depth a little bit maybe, but...
Yeah, but you can still do it, it just means you're going to be a bit slower than you would normally be. And same sort of on the road riding stuff.
Yeah, on the road, I was surprised how fast it was. With my tyres, the 47mm wide tyres, it was really quick and it smooths out the bumps really nicely and didn't feel much slower than my normal endurance road bike, so I was really surprised in that aspect.
Yeah, same here. I mean, sort of like the Ravagers were fairly knobbly, but I mean, I wasn't like dying trying to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Well, I would normally be dying trying to keep up with you, but being very gentle there, so that was nice. Yeah, and then when we got onto some sort of like classic kind of fire road stuff, like they both worked really well. Sort of like, yeah, you don't need much more than that because it's pretty level going, you can maintain good speed. And yeah, our little bridleway excursion, the bridleway excursion, that kind of showed us a bit more about the different tyres. That was the interesting.
I think there's a limit to how far you can take a slick tyre. I mean, I was surprised how far you could take a slick tyre. On gravel, on loose dirt, the tyre was surprisingly grippy for a slick tyre. but on that muddy bit, it was out of its depth a little bit. That's where you need a few blocks, isn't it, really, to find traction.
There's definitely no replacement for knobbles there.
But luckily, I counted it with skill.
Mad skills, yo. So yeah, I mean, like we both got up it. I mean, definitely in like the slicker mud, I was suffering like loads less wheel spin. But I think maybe if you went for like a slightly knobblier 650B tyre, then you'd have the benefits of like all that cushioning and extra grip there, as well as, you know, sort of like that sort of comfort and the grip that you get from a few knobbles.
I imagine it's a bit like mountain biking, where you have to choose a tyre based on the time of year and conditions. It's a bit like I'd probably run a knobbly tyre during the winter on that bike, maybe a slick tyre be okay in the summer. And a road bike, you don't worry about it, just you should ride slick tyre year round. But
fall off.
But despite that, the bike didn't feel compromised in any way. On a road, off road, it felt just really capable everywhere, really.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing. And again, like using these Exploros, you could basically build it up to whichever kind of preference you had. It's sort of like, do you want like a bike that's for mostly riding off road, maybe on sort of milder terrain, but like still pretty quick and still on some fairly tech stuff for a gravel bike? And yeah, obviously you build it up with some wide bars, maybe knobbly 650s, and you'd have like a pretty rapid bike, like 1990s mountain bike style. If you kind of err towards more like, I guess, like riding purely on road, but occasionally if you see like a little bridle way, you've got some like really hammered roads in your area, then yeah, I guess go 700 and sort of like run some smaller volume slicker tyres. I don't think you'd be that much slower on either.
Yeah, I think it's just the way we linked up road and off-road and bridleways, and any path that took a fancy, basically we went down it.
Yeah.
There's no limits. If you're on a road bike, you'd be limited to road. On a mountain bike, you'd be limited to the good trails. But here we're riding everything in between. I
think that's the thing that you really found with the gravel bike, that it kind of expands your riding area. Because I know maybe if you live somewhere that's got a bit of good mountain biking, but it's quite far away, sometimes if you're riding like your full-on mountain bike to that area, it's just going to be like, God, this is really boring. And then when you finally do it, it's only a short loop. Do it on a gravel bike, and obviously getting there is not going to be that much hassle. And then when you do ride it, even if it's not that technical, it'll give, doing it on a gravel bike on the drops will give it a whole new lease of life, I reckon.
Sounds good. And as being a roadie, it gets you off busy, congested roads into forests, and you're away from traffic and people, and it just opens up your riding in a way that I've never imagined before, really. You're still on a road bike with drop bars and slick tyres, but you're riding across gravel tracks and through a forest, and it's just, you're out in the countryside, the wildlife, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Great fun.
So, in summary, like, who do you think gravel bikes are for then?
That's a really interesting question, actually. And I think they appeal to roadies and mountain bikers equally, really. I think if you're looking for something different in your stable to complement your current bikes, I can see a lot of people being drawn to a gravel bike. They are so versatile. You can go out and ride and not have a plan for where you're going.
Yeah.
But follow your nose and go down a bridleway and then do a bit of road, and on the 3T, so you're not limited in any way, really.
Yeah, and I mean, like with the change of wheels, you could have like those two bikes. You could have something that probably be like a pretty rapid sort of pure road weapon, and a pretty like competent off-road bike.
Yeah. So you could have one bike and two sets of wheels, and sell your mountain bike and sell your road bike and just have one bike.
Oh, that's where I disagree. I think although gravel bikes are amazing, for me there's no way I'd go like, I could have a gravel bike and forget about the mountain bike.
Okay.
Do you feel the same way? Do you think you could go like, I'd rather have a pure road bike?
The racer inside me would still want a pure race bike. I think for a time where you just want to go flat out fast. But for 80% of the time, I can see that Explorer being the one bike.
Yeah.
So when you're not chasing KOMs and segments and you just want to ride for fun, which I think a lot of people do these days.
Yeah. And I guess sort of like from my point of view, if I lived near somewhere that had like amazing mountain biking out of the door, probably wouldn't be for me. But if I live somewhere where I do now, where sort of like in Bristol, it's a bit of a road schlep to get over to say like Leewoods National Court, and even then it's not that technical. But yeah, do that on a gravel bike, it'd breathe a whole new breath of life into like your old trails, and you get there and still have fun instead of just suffering on sort of like boring trails.
So it sounds like we both like gravel bikes.
Yes, that much is true. So thanks to Saddleback for sorting us out with the Exploros, some sweet Envy rims and bars, because it wouldn't have been possible without them. And in summary, gravel bikes, yes, we like them.
Definitely, yeah. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you really liked it, make sure that you subscribe to keep up to date with any future videos. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.